We are now joined on the line from The Hague by Brigid Inder of Women's Initiative for Gender Justice. Thank you very much for joining us. What's your take on the manner that the prosecution has so far handled the case, especially on the issue of sexual violence? What kind of punishment are you hoping for?
Well, I think the Office of the Prosecutor has been very focused in this case and in its prosecution strategy. They appear to have very strong evidence. They've presented a compelling case in relation to sexual violence. In this case, the Office of the Prosecutor has involved the largest number of witnesses for sexual violence in any of the ICC cases to date, with I think around 14 out of the 40 prosecution witnesses testifying in relation to rape and other forms of sexual violence. And particularly by the troops under the command of Jean-Pierre Bemba. So I think it appears to be a very strong and compelling case. Of course, it will now be up to the judges to consider all of the evidence and information and decide whether they believe that the threshold of beyond reasonable doubt has been met in relation to all of the charges against Jean-Pierre Bemba, including sexual violence. But based on our monitoring of the case over several years, it looks to us like as if this is a very strong and a very powerful case put forward by the Office of the Prosecutor.
And I mean, what's your reaction to the fact that the ICC is now seeking to open a new case on allegations that Bemba's legal team bribed victims?
Yes, and interestingly, just a couple of days ago, the pre-trial chamber at the ICC confirmed the charges against Bemba and 4 members associated with his defence team, confirmed the charges relating to offences against the administration of justice. And specifically, they, of course, charged, as you mentioned, with tampering with witnesses and presenting evidence they knew to be false and forged into the case. So I think the judges, at least at the pretrial stage, believe that there is enough evidence to want to see this go to trial. These are very serious charges. And of course, not the first case in which tampering with witnesses has been charged before the ICC. There's also a charge around an Article 70 charge in relation to the Kenya case. So it's very important, really, at the heart of international justice and domestic criminal justice is the protection of witnesses and the possibility for witnesses to be able to come to court, present their evidence, share their testimonies and stories and the harm they suffered, and to be able to do so safely, both within the courtroom and once they're outside the courtroom. So tampering with witnesses and with evidence, this really goes to the heart of the justice process. So these are very serious charges, and we'll wait to see what happens with that trial.
All right, thank you very much to you, Brigid Inder of the Women's Initiative for Gender Justice, joining us from The Hague.